Howdy, howdy, howdy. How are you guys doing? I'm copying and pasting the call-in number here in the chat. So while we're talking about our things, if people want to call in, they can do so because we have calling capabilities now. Isn't this awesome? Calling capabilities. So welcome to the show. So I have from time to time I do coffee chats, and I'm going to probably let me put this on my Restream chat so other people on other platforms can see. So the number is 186 526 93161. Alrighty, there we go. Hello, everyone. So I posted that on the Periscope, Twitch, DLive, Facebook, and YouTube. Hello, everyone. So, it was JF Goo. Hi, JF Goo. Hello, Exiled. Hello, Tony Designs. Hello, Angie, Amelia. Also, happy birthday to Mr. Shadow Kitty. It's your birthday today. Happy anniversary of orbiting the sun another year. I'm so glad you're here. So I hope you have a great birthday today and you have lots of fun plans. So today I thought we could have like a Q&A. We're going to have you can call in here, probably trying to call in here in about 20 minutes or so. I posted the phone number in the description and I've put it in the chat. So, this will be kind of neat to give that a go and see how that is. Hello, RB. Greetings from Culver City, California, Los Angeles County. Awesome. I haven't been to Culver City. I've been to a lot of different places all over the world, but I've never been to Culver City. I'm going to turn off my heater. It's cold now and it's hot in Australia. So happy hot weather, Australia. So today I thought I could just have a little chat. It's been an interesting few days on Twitter. And I'm laughing. I'm laughing because in the past couple of days, I've had more angry people in my mentions, angry about how I feel about The Mandalorian, my perspective, than I've had climate change deniers. So that's interesting. I don't get a lot. Most of the angry people that I get in my mentions, they tend to be very trolly-like. But let me give you a bit of context. So, The Mandalorian is a TV show, guys. It's of the Star Wars variety. I enjoy the Star Wars. I have seen all of the Star Wars things. I haven't watched a lot of the animated series. I'm talking primarily the live action stuff. I've seen so let me caveat that with saying the live action Star Wars thing. So, and I enjoy it. Okay. Probably didn't enjoy it a whole lot when I was little, and I'm getting the reasons for that here in just a second. But I did enjoy it. I grew up watching it. My dad was a really big Star Wars fan. I'd seen, at all of them, grew up around that type of atmosphere. So I've also grown up around all kinds of Star Trek, the original series, seen all of them. Seen Next Gen, loved Next Gen. Next Gen is amazing. Each series is its own thing. And that's kind of how I treat Star Trek in a lot of the different fandoms. Each series is its own thing. So like the new series of Star Trek films, the J.J. Abrams films, a lot of people were angry about that. I had hurt feelings over Vulcan. Spoilers. I feel like it's not spoilers anymore, though.
It's been like, 10 years?
Something like that. Something like that. Hey, Nether. Hey, Sir Marvin Manister. So the Star Trek new revamped. I hate the word reboot because you're just restarting the same thing, but they completely redid the universe. I had my feelings hurt over Vulcan. I'm not even going to lie. I was personally offended that Vulcan was blown up. But then I got over it. And I treated it like a fan fiction because there's plenty of space for lots of different things. And you can like it or not. And it's okay. You don't have to like a thing. And you can not like a thing for reasons that other people don't agree with. And it's still fine. Not having the same opinions on something that's not real is completely okay. And it doesn't mean anybody's feelings are permanently damaged for that. But I've had people angry and raging and making all kinds of defenses for the Mandalorian because I don't like it. And I think it was yesterday. I don't remember anymore because I do have a job and I spend time doing lots of other things, other science and academia things, helping other people be successful in their STEM careers in academia. I've recently been put on new things, and I met the president of where I work, and she's on board of wanting me to go and seek out grants to help underrepresented people be successful in STEM through mentorship. So I've been busy. So I've been busy. Uh, and that's cool. I love what I do. I love my job. And, my opinions are my own. So I always say that they're my opinions, not reflect my job. I'm going to say that. But it's like people have been so angry about me quote tweeting a person who regularly makes other people angry, who said, this is kind of what she had to say. Um, Let me see. I got to scroll back a bit because I'm on my Twitter. Guys, I tweet a lot when it's the weekend. So if you follow me, I'm sorry if I fled your timeline. Sometimes you might need to mute me, and that's okay. That doesn't hurt my feelings either. And if you unfollow me, that's okay too. That doesn't hurt my feelings. But I essentially agreed with including women who said they didn't enjoy The Mandalorian and were a bit taken aback about the lack of women characters. And there was one towards the end. But The Mandalorian put me to sleep twice. Not once, but twice. Both episodes knocked me out. Perfect for my insomnia. Perfect for my insomnia. I found it boring. I didn't find the dialogue riveting. Apparently, you have to have a working knowledge a bit of Mandalorians in order for this to translate well to you. And it's my perspective that I shouldn't have to go read fan fiction books in order to understand a piece of media. That's just poor writing, right? That's just poor writing. I didn't have to read the Harry Potter books to enjoy the Harry Potter films. I didn't have to read any Star Wars books to enjoy any of the films. That's just poor writing. And then somebody had um, made a comment about there not being enough women characters. It's like the bar was all masculine, there's so many dudes everywhere, and it's just like it just feels like the same old thing. And I feel like, okay, yeah, kind of is. And maybe if there had been like really strong women characters at the beginning, I might have been like, oh wow, this is interesting. This is new. This is new. Now I know we have Rey on Star Wars. We have her, so we have something for little girls to emulate, and that's nice. I didn't have that. I didn't have that growing up. So I I kind of I saw a little bit of, okay, yeah, that's a point too. Maybe if they had like strong women involved at the very beginning that were just, rawr, just sink your teeth into, that might have held my interest a bit more. I make these comments. Now, this particular woman, her name is Anita Sarkeesian. Never heard of her at all. Don't know who she is. Saw she was being harassed by a bunch of fanboys because they
Wait,
didn't
wait,
like.
wait. Hold up. You say you
Yeah.
don't know who Anita Sarkeesian is?
No, didn't know
You're
who she
like the
was
first
until
person I've met that has no clue who she is.
I have no idea who she is. I just
About
saw that.
about
Huh?
3 years ago, look up Gamergate.
Oh, is this the Gamergate lady?
She's the one that called Sargon of Akkad a garbage human.
Well,
At
okay.
VidCon, in front of a panel of people, as part of a panel of people in front of an audience. Yeah, it was a big to do
Okay.
over it. Yeah,
Didn't she get like death threats over that?
I'm sure she did.
Okay. That's not okay, guys.
No, it's not. It's really not okay. I don't like her personally. I think she's an awful human being who's just out for publicity and making a big stink over nothing, personally. But at the same time, calling people garbage
Yeah.
human isn't cool either, but neither is making death threats. And I'm not saying Sargon
Right.
ever told anybody to do that either, because I've talked with Benjamin since then, and he never, ever told people to do anything to her, as far
Wow.
as I'm aware. So,
Okay.
that's just to sum it up. This show is not about Sargon or Anita.
Yeah. So it's weird. So it's like I just, kind of found out recently about her. And so I pointed out, this is pretty interesting. All right. So let me talk a little bit. I kind of discussed this a little bit on Twitter today, and I want to kind of read these to you in case you didn't see. This is my perspective on it. This is what I'm getting to. Um so this is kind of like a series of tweets. So some of the comments I've gotten about The Mandalorian have such a blatant bias when it comes to the opinions I've expressed and shared some opinions of a person who apparently makes some angry regularly. Some of these comments include the defense that space aliens aren't people, so gender doesn't matter. I laughed a bit when I saw these comments, if I'm honest. Like, okay, so space aliens, where most look like humans, act like humans, have families and societies based on human cultures, and also have treated women a bit the same. Okay. Star Wars was based on, a culture involving like samurais, right? On human cultures. Uh, Now, let's be clear about something. There is no woke Star Wars. We have Rey now, which is cool and awesome for little girls to emulate. And let's be honest, Leia is likely the strongest Skywalker and extremely underrated in the films. Clearly, she had amazing powers, amazing force powers, as seen in the sequels, but she deserves her own films. But, she's when she's in Star Wars, she's being rescued twice, and yeah, she can hold a blaster and she can shoot and she can do things, but it's a lot of it is centered around saving her, and she doesn't shine like she could, like the abilities. I mean, she brought herself, spoilers again, she brought herself out of the vacuum of space and survived by force powers. She clearly was an extremely strong woman character that we just don't see a lot of. And so I'm like, okay, and the women in power in Star Wars, they have a few lines. Well, we had generals that were women. Okay. They had a few lines and said words sometimes. That's, you know, okay. Well, anyway, so let's also recall that George Lucas made Carrie Fisher not wear bras. and go to fat camp to lose weight so she could look sexier in her slave Leia costume. Star Wars was never woke, so we need to get over that. Okay, we need to get over that. There was no equal representation of women in here. Okay, and so but space aliens, what about their gender? The whole gender thing for space aliens. Well, everything I just said above is based on primarily human cultures, and here's where I'm kind of getting to an idea here. Why are these guys, or the term fanboys, upset when a woman says there's a lot of male stuff in The Mandalorian? It would be awesome if we had more women here. This feels a lot more of like the same. Because these guys emulated their male space aliens. Okay. These guys grew up watching this and got to pretend to be Boba Fett, Han Solo, you know, Obi-Wan, later on, and Darth Vader and Luke. They got to be all of these fighter characters. While when I played when I was little, if I got to be Leia, oh, we got to tie you up and save you. Yay. We all probably realize how well that went. I just didn't play with those people anymore, and I was exceedingly bored with them. So you get to here you go. Get to tie you up. We're going to lock you up somewhere, and we're going to save you, Mel. That's what we do for Leia. You go be Leia. Oh, God. Boring. It's utterly boring as a little girl growing up playing that way. So, these guys, they grew up emulating a male dominated series, objectifying and saving women who tickled their hormones, you learning, and gave them feelings and a place to feel accepted. Little girls deserve to have representation in sci-fi media and the chance to emulate strong female characters. So The Mandalorian had a woman leader with speaking lines in a heavily male-dominated environment. Okay, also seen in other Star Wars films. It's more of the same. Having a woman speaking a few lines in a position of power does not negate the lack of diversity argument. There seem to be women directors involved, okay? But women directors take whatever work they can get in Hollywood as they are grossly underrepresented. And if they're new, they have to fall in line or they don't keep their jobs. That's not an argument for diversity. The show may get better, guys. It may get better. And if it does, fantastic.
Someone just tried to call, and I urged them to try to call again. Should we start taking calls?
Here, so let's see. After I finish, we'll start taking calls here in about 8 minutes. How about at 10:30 Central, in 8 minutes, we'll start taking calls. I do want to address the chat so I can get that in, and then we'll start taking calls. So, um, so the show may get better, and if it does, fantastic. Right now, and I'm not the only person who finds it dull and boring. There are other fans of the series who've reached out and been like, this show is knocking me out too, man. It's boring. It put me to sleep twice. Now, my arguments that if strong women characters started out at the beginning, it might have held my attention because that would be different. That would be a thing. And be like, wow, we've got a strong woman that's doing something. Let me watch that because that's something new that I might enjoy. So I need more than the same old thing. Star Wars nostalgia alone isn't working for me. I mean, it's just not. It's kind of like after a while, I just quit going to see DC Comics films because I just thought they were garbage after a little while. I'm like, I hated Man of Steel. And then Ben Affleck became Batman. I'm like, I'm not going to see this in a film. I'm not going to see this in the theater. I don't want to give it my money. I'd rather just wait for it to come to a streaming service I already pay for. And then I might sit there and watch it. Wonder Woman was amazing. and it was directed by a strong female director who had won an Academy Award for a war film. She knew how to direct a war film, which is what Wonder Woman is. So it's like fantastic. And she got so much flack that, well, she's never directed a superhero film. But that's the point. I mean, you can have strong male characters, but those are all over the place. I didn't grow up with a whole lot of strong female leads that I could watch. People are like, well, Aliens. I'm like, my parents didn't let me watch Aliens when I was 5. I can't, like, Ripley's amazing. Yes, but I didn't, my parents aren't gonna have me watch Alien or Aliens or any of the or Terminator or anything like with Sarah Connor. I couldn't watch stuff like that when I was little. So it's just we need that. So, it's okay if you like The Mandalorian, and it's okay for me not to like it. I am also not required to like it for reasons that validate others people for liking it. I can like it, I can not like it for stuff that you may not agree with. And you can have some problematic elements to a thing, and people can still enjoy it, guys. This doesn't make them bad people for saying, hey, it'd be really cool if we had something like this going on, because this is the same old stuff that we see all the time. Could we just have something different? Maybe throw like a really awesome lady in there in the beginning that just goes and kicking butt, because that would be awesome. What, that doesn't mean that anybody who enjoys the film or the show for what it is, that doesn't mean it makes it bad. They're not bad people for enjoying it. I'm not knocking all of the people who enjoy Star Wars, but then I get people saying, well, you've come on here and you're insulting a show that I like and this and this. I'm like, I'm saying I don't like a thing. There are also foods that I don't like. Am I going, and I've been accused of gaslighting people. And I'm like, it's a made up show. So far, I have had more people be angry about The Mandalorian than I have had climate change deniers in my mentions on Twitter. This is the thing. More angry people about a made up show that I don't like for various reasons. And guys, I might like it later. I'll probably continue to watch it because I like to watch things that I hate so I can understand why other people like them. Scientist here. Okay, I did that with Game of Thrones. I do that with Tarantino films. I'm thinking, let me try to understand why somebody likes this. And I pay attention. Now, if The Mandalorian, if I'm able to stay awake during it, that would be nice, given it bored me to where I fell asleep. In order to watch the third episode, I'm going to have to try to stay awake. I get that. That's fine. But I'm just putting this all out there. This is not new. This is not new for me. I've seen every Game of Thrones episode and I still hate the series. I don't like it. I don't enjoy it. It completely is boring to me and highly predictable. And other people love it. And that's great. Clearly they do. It was successful. But nobody should get angry and harass somebody online because they don't like a thing. So your argument's invalid. It's an opinion on a thing that is not real. Now, it's not like we're sitting here arguing climate change or abortion or, demonetized, I said the A word, bull, or sexual education or anything where there's evidence to support where it's a real world issue where people are actually being affected by it. And we have evidence and studies associated. Okay. It's not like we're arguing that. You know what I mean? it's this isn't like I'm not arguing over whether or not, it's just I'm saying it would be nice if things were not like this all the freaking time. That's all. So let's see. Let me catch up. I'm catching up on the chat, guys. Hello, Kelly in Facebook. How are you? You can call in a couple of minutes. Lord of the Rings films did not require familiarity with the books. I know. I get that. And I enjoyed that series. I actually did enjoy the series. I would have liked to have had, lots of other strong women in that. But that's how I feel about a lot of things. But The Hobbit though, the first half of The Hobbit, the first Hobbit film, man, I fell asleep in that. And I love Lord of the Rings, and it just knocked me right out. Rogue One was amazing. I love Rogue One to this day. I got to show Rogue One to Doc Savage, and he's like, this explains why there's a hole in the Death Star that they could shoot like lasers into and blow the thing up, and he's like, wow, this is awesome. Rogue One was amazing. I think I covered that argument, Mossine, about strong male characters. Um, you know, I think I kind of covered that already. One of the top 5 ongoing book series I'm reading, 7 have female leads. That can be done, but people will still bitch and whine. Well, maybe it's and somebody had brought up a point on Twitter that some male writers might actually feel uncomfortable writing strong female characters. And I get that, I do get that. There might be like, what if I don't write it the way it's supposed to be? Because their perspective is different. And that's okay.
Then there's Robert Jordan, who delights in writing female and male villains and heroines.
Mm, okay. So somebody said maybe we'll come back when we aren't talking about movies. Okay. That's okay. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Hence me loving Star Trek. Star Trek was very progressive, socially. It really was. It still has its own. It's still a bit of its own time. You still get like, hey, you still have some social habit, weirdness, that may not have been as progressive, but it's okay. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up. I hate you for not liking Kill Bill. I have a hard time with Tarantino films. I just do. I thought Inglorious Bastards would get it for me, and it just didn't hit the mark. Um, you know, yeah, I loved Rogue One. Okay, so if you guys want to call in, feel free to call in and we can chat a bit. Joss Whedon does write some of the best female leads. Um, he got bashed for not doing women justice, but there's always going to be people complaining. Well, and to be fair, we haven't had a lot of strong woman characters in a lot of forms of media, so it's still kind of budding, right? It's still kind of budding, and it's an art form that is going to cultivate and change. We get better with it over time. We just need to keep doing, right? We need to just keep growing and doing and give it a go. So it's just kind of like we can kind of develop that. All right, guys. So if you want to call in, feel free. So I feel like I've kind of talked a bit enough on on all that.
Here we go. First caller. Go ahead.
All right.
Hey.
Hi.
I just wanted to say your drama is similar to one that I've experienced before on Twitter. There was this reviewer called P.K. Russell, and he did a review about a recently made animation called Has Been Hotel, and he said he didn't like it, and he got a lot of backlash for it.
Oh, wow.
Which is kind of which is kind of similar to what you went through. So, through my observation of these two instances, I would say that the internet doesn't like it when someone says that they don't like something that is highly popular.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's okay for people to not like stuff, and it's okay for people to like a thing too. There's plenty of space. I mean, it's media, right? So is this organized chaos?
Oh yeah, this is she.
Okay. So this is organized chaos from the chat. So it's like, it's okay for people not like stuff. There were people who loved the all woman Ghostbusters, and then there were guys who were really angry that they made an all woman Ghostbusters. And so it's just like there's plenty of space in the world for both things to exist. So what did you think about
Yeah.
that anime series?
About what?
What did you think about the anime series that you said? Did you enjoy it
Oh,
or?
yeah, I actually love the series. I've been waiting for it for literal years now, and I mean, I do think that yeah, there's some stuff to be improved upon, and there's I can understand why someone wouldn't like it, but I really do like it, and I'm interested in seeing more of it.
Okay. Well, I hope they make some more stuff that you like then. Um
Thanks.
okay. Well, thanks for calling Organized Chaos. I think we only have is there somebody else calling in? I don't know if I don't know how that works.
No, there's no one else waiting to call in.
Oh,
Otherwise,
okay.
call
There's no
waiting
one
would be
else
going
waiting to call
off.
in. Okay, that's all right. Okay. Well, thanks for calling in. So you get fangirls that get angry and you get fanboys that get angry. People just need to stop getting so angry all the time. It's okay to have
Yeah,
a difference in opinion.
yeah, people just get bored when there's not something to yell at.
That might be true. That might be true. Is there something that you want to yell about?
Well, I just want to yell about how dumb people are sometimes.
Oh, goodness.
Like,
Okay.
there's anti-vaxxers, and then there's, like, these people that are crying about, like, someone not agreeing with them while the frickin' Amazon rainforest is on fire right now. I mean, it baffles me when people are, like, you know, like
Yeah.
focused
Yeah.
on minuscule, unimportant things while really bad stuff is going on.
Yeah, I think if we're going to have a debate about something, we should be spending time talking about, okay, or have a difference in opinion or arguing a thing. It needs to be associated with something that's actually affecting the lives of people. And it's kind of my thought that if your identity is tied to a particular thing that can't be criticized for fear of it hurting your feelings, time to self-reflect, you know?
It's sad
Yeah.
and pathetic.
Well, I mean, people like different fandoms because they feel like they fit in there, and I get that. But the danger you run into is if you are making that a part of your personal identity, and then that opens you up to where if somebody criticizes it, it's going to upset you for a very long time. And then you might resort to abusive behavior, harassing people online or being ugly. So it's just, you know, uh, there are other things that we can argue about, and other things to talk about without it being such a problem. So, so yeah, oh my goodness. So thanks for calling in, Organized Chaos. We're
Of
gonna
course, thanks for having me.
We're going to move on to the next topic. All right. So,
Bye.
bye. So, the next topic, we have about 20 minutes, 22 minutes left of the show. So, let me catch up on the chat a bit. We're going, yeah. I mean, some people are like, why are they gender flipping things? There are so many films that have strong male leads. So many films. Um, it's just why would they gender flip a Tomb Raider film? when we already have Indiana Jones? I mean, isn't that what that is? So it's just gender flipped Tomb Raider is Indiana Jones. Fight me. Except with less acrobatics and a bit more of the war thing going on. So, I mean, it's a more fleshed out story. So, I want to see gender flipped Gone with the Wind. Wouldn't that be interesting? Or, what if they did a race flip Gone with the Wind? I think that might be a pretty interesting social experiment. You know what I mean? I mean, what do you think?
Especially if you set it in modern times. Like if you set it in today's day and age, that would be a fascinating film.
Gone with the Wind, but modern day version. What if it was the other way around? And what if the South won and white people were the slaves? I think that would be a fascinating look at, I think that would be an interesting social experiment to see how that would go. And to kind of get into that mindset, which I feel like people are not able to do. You just can't imagine that. So that would be pretty interesting, in my opinion. So it's just, you know, sometimes it's just neat to kind of step into, that realm with a different perspective. So yeah, I agree in the chat. Most scene, I say the writing matters the most. You can use the gender of the character to enhance the story, but just defaulting to a gender for woke points. No, I agree. I agree the writing matters the most. And the problem that I've had a lot with the women female lead characters, particularly with superhero films, and I wrote a bit about this on my website about the Wonder Woman film that came out, why this film matters. The writing was absolutely terrible, and so they blamed female led. Here's what I'm trying to say. Hollywood historically has refused to make female-led um, superhero films because they said historically they bomb at the box office. They're like, we can't have a woman in leading a film because it doesn't do well because the stories suck. The stories suck. They're terrible. They're terribly written. They're poorly written. A lot of time wasn't like spent on developing the stories. They just threw something together. And so that's why we say gender doesn't matter, but it does in Hollywood. It does in Hollywood. Because look at it, it just for a long time, Hollywood would not make women-led superhero films because they bomb in the box office because they're garbage stories. Wonder Woman, Patty Jenkins, she directed the film without a gender in mind. So there's something to say there. She directed that film without a gender in mind. She wanted to take a person who wanted to be the best at being a superhero that they could, who would do the right things because they can. And that translates. And she directed it that way. She wasn't thinking about, I've got to make a strong woman character. She focused, tweaked with the writers a bit, worked to get it put together, and it came out to be this beautiful thing. And you're right, Nether, unless the writing is about the struggles of that gender, just write the character and set the gender once you have the grasp of the story. Just don't default to male main because that's status quo. I agree. That's what I'm saying, Nether. You and me, eye to eye, man. Eye to eye. And if you want to call in, phone's still open. RB, yes, many heads would explode from the cognitive dissonance of having a race flipped Gone with the Wind. So I agree, it would. They would have a difficult time. But I think it would be it would be of educational value to try to get people to understand, you know? So, so I'm trying to. My phone has been buzzing, 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 buzzing. Okay. Getting lots of messages. All right. So let's move on to what's coming up tomorrow. We have Audacity at noon. Miles Power is going to be on the show, guys. Miles freaking Power. If you haven't checked out his stuff, you can go to his Twitter. And we're going to talk about big pharma myths. Let me see. So he's at Power M 1985. Power M 1985. That's who he is on Twitter. He also has a YouTube channel. And that is Power M 1985 there. But you should be able to kind of search Miles Power and check him out. He does a lot of pseudoscience debunking, particularly with chiropractors. So big pharma myths should be pretty awesome with that. Oh my goodness. So catching up on all that stuff on the side. So do check it out. Sunday at noon Central, or Audacity with Miles Power. Next Sunday, we have Tony Reed. So we're going to probably talk about evolution, different myths associated with evolution as far as misunderstanding it. And then the following Sunday, we have Dr. Amanda Glaze. I hope she's able to join. Recently, her husband suffered some severe burns. And so she's been very vocal about it on Twitter. So I don't feel like I'm, sharing anything that's too personal. And so I'm not certain if she'll be able to join in or not. They've been in and out of the hospital the past few days. So thinking about you, Dr. Glaze. She's a lovely lady. She works in evolution education where it is involved cultural resistance. So people who are resistant to accepting evolution, she does research in how to get them to understand the concept without it causing, cognitive dissonance, without it causing problems, and that you can have certain belief systems that don't conflict with evolution, and you don't need to change who you are in order to accept evolution. So she's an amazing educator. So do check her out on Twitter. She's Evo PhD. Let's see. Nether says, just race flipping wouldn't work with going with the win too much history. Best to rewrite the whole thing until people don't realize what it is about until it clicks. Telling people what a work is about before and will only screw their perception of the work. True. That's a good idea. So yeah. So that's a good point. But yeah, so that's going on tomorrow. Let's see. I'm going to start bringing back polls on Twitter for topics associated with the Saturday shows. So if you have topic ideas, drop them in the comments. I can post polls on YouTube. So if you subscribe, I can post a poll there. I also can post polls on Twitter and I believe on Facebook. So give me your ideas. And if you're one of my patrons, I just do shows about your stuff automatically. You get to move to the front. So if you have an idea for a show on science content, hit me up. Hit me up on Discord. I actually have a Discord as well. So feel free to join there. Sometimes I pop into the voice chat while I'm doing work at my job, be chatting along, while I'm working. So it'll be interesting. So I don't know. So Bull, you got anything coming up for you?
Well, there's always the Morning Wood on Pimpmuck's channel during the week, and after Audacity tomorrow, of course, will be the Geek Room's Let's Riff. So those are what's going on. Still in negotiations with the 7th rule. If you guys want to put in a good word for me, if you like Deep Space Nine and Sarah Lofton, go over to that channel and say, hey, you guys should hire me or whatever. No, Don't do that. I don't want them to be too obvious. But yes, I am trying to negotiate with them to produce the Seventh Rules shows, which would be fun. It would be a lot of fun. It would be a big feather in my cap. And they need the support. Even if I don't get it, please go sub to the Seventh Rule on YouTube.
There you go. So Bull's moving up probably. So we're seeing good, strong things happening with Bull. I in this past Wednesday, we had a bit of a tech issue. So Nervardia will be back. We're trying to sort out a date. Tech issues have been fixed. So yay. I am working on new screens for this show. Peter, also known as Gonna Go For It, he's generating new screens and possibly a new intro because I've had the same stuff for a while. So yay. I think he needs to get a computer, a new one. So once he's able to finish, I forget what the word is called. What is the word called? Rendering. Once he gets a new computer, he'll be able to render the new screens. And Peter does that stuff for free for me. So thank you for that. So yeah, so we're gonna have new screens for the show at some point in the future. I'm trying to go through and reorganize my website. I do have a shop there where you can get Cam Girl for Science stuff. You can check that out. I also have t-shirts from stuff from the show. Doc Savage quotes on t-shirt. So Doc Savage quotes on t-shirts and stuff like that. I do have all kinds of other things. I've got jewelry and mugs, and then I have a series called Blocked By, where I take people who have poor behavior on social media. I put it on t-shirts and mugs and all kinds of stuff. And then I donate all of the proceeds to charities. And I incorporate a lot of different things into there. And you can click on my website and see which organizations actually benefit. So I do try to do that. Local news. Local news. I have joined Taste of Science. So this is pretty interesting. I've joined the local division of a science outreach group that's nationwide. It's called Taste of Science. I've been involved in Nerd Night before, and spoken and done a few talks with Nerd Night locally. Now I'm on the planning and board committee of Taste of Science, and we're planning a science festival for next spring. I'm so excited. So it's almost like a science communication festival, but it's different pop-up events at various pubs where we have scientists that come in and talk about their work. We do trivia and give away prizes associated with that. I'm probably going to be live streaming. I'll be hosting one of these pop-up events. I almost said Popeye event. I actually almost said Popeye events, and I've not had the chicken sandwich yet, so I think that's why that's in my brain somewhere. So I will be hosting one of these pop-up events. I'm currently securing venues. I've gotten at least one venue down, and we're trying to get it close to being on the same street, so they can go through and hop from venue to venue and enjoy a talk from a scientist. It's 3 days and 3 different events each day, 3 sets of events for each day associated with a different topic. So watch this space. Taste of Science. I am now a member of that organization, and you can look them up on the web and see what they do and see if there's a Taste of Science in your area. So it's lots of exciting things and doing awesome at work. I'll be looking into, if you guys know of any grants that are helpful for underrepresented populations in STEM, whether it's like women of color, women engineers, that sort of thing, because we have a very low representation in certain areas of STEM, and I want to work with getting grants in order to help mentor underrepresented people and pulling mentors in. I realize I would not be a good mentor for a woman of color because I'm not a woman of color. So, um, bringing in appropriate mentors in the field to be able to go and help other people be successful, particularly underrepresented populations in 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 my city where I am, because where I work we have a high poverty rate, and so a lot of my job is helping people move from poverty to prosperity, and working with them to help them be successful in STEM academia, and so I really think I can help do that, and I'm very proud of what I do. And a lot of my stuff here, it just all interconnect. It's wonderful. Um, so it's wonderful that it all kind of intersects with one another, and it's an exciting time. It's an exciting time for me. Um, Even though I'm kind of new at in a new job, this is still kind of a new job. I've only been there 3 months. To 9, 9 to 10 to yeah, I've only been there about 3 months. I've already been given a lot of responsibilities, and I've had a lot of positive feedback, and I'm really excited to be part of such an amazing organization. And again, intersects with a lot of what I do here. So it's nice. It's nice, guys. So much awesome stuff is going on. And I'm so glad you're here with me, hanging out. So watch this space for Taste of Science. I think I'm going to probably coordinate with Nerd Night as well, my local division of Nerd Night. I've reached out to them, see if maybe they can maybe we can kind of blend together. Some colleagues at my work want to get involved in Taste of Science, so we're going to get more helpers in. So that's going to be great. And then I'll probably be live streaming at least the event that I'm involved with. I'll be live streaming to my channel, bringing the science to you and the trivia and the games. And we actually have comedy and comedians. I think we're going to have a comedy night this summer where we might have World Audacity making an appearance. So this is going to be neat. It is amazing. It is awesome. And I'm so glad I get to be a part of that. I'm so glad I get to be a part of that, and my work here is being recognized and used and utilized. So today's coffee chat was just a chat. Sometimes we talk about social issues, and sometimes we talk about media. Um, Today wasn't heavy, heavy sciencey talk, but that's okay. Tomorrow will be a heavy science talk with Doc Savage and Miles Power on big pharma myths. So we got that to look forward to. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait. Um, so anybody else want to call in? Feel free. We got about 3 minutes left. Oh my goodness. We got a lot of heavy chat going on in the side chat. Let's see. A lot about science. Oh goodness. Let's see. Yeah. Catching up. Oh god, a lot about evolution and belief systems in the side chat. Oh my goodness. You're looking forward to that. I did a bit of research not that long ago. Was that on Tony Designs? Was that on Big Pharma Myths? I'm not certain which one, who or what you're talking about. So don't know. Anywho, so we had our first call in and that worked. So good job on that, Bull. You set that up beautifully.
I had some practice on some other shows. So, yeah.
There you go. Skills. Just write it down. Can set up calls on Skype through the live stream. Another added skill, right? Add that to the CV. Oh, yes, on why the price of insulin went up so much recently. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna get some big pharma myths together, and I need to find some videos and stuff like that. So, do you have any big pharma videos that you like me to highlight, or any myths associated with big pharma? I'm putting the show together, shoot me a message on Discord with a link or some information. Hit me up on Twitter. You can post it in the comments here, because I'll be putting that show together and getting up probably kind of early tomorrow in order to get it all sorted. I've got to get the commercials, the fake commercial done, the challenge. Got to get the challenge done, and then get the riff videos together, and and stupid things. Also, if you see stupid things on the internet, send them my way.
I have a feeling there's going to be no shortage of stupid things this week.
There's no shortage of stupid things any week. I still have stupid things left over from other shows that I didn't get to. So.
Yeah, it's Let's Riff is that way too. When I do the Geek Room, he just puts stuff up there, and if we have time to cover it all, we do. But there's been stuff kicking around in those video lists since I started doing this show. So yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So would middlemen truly cut medic costs? I don't know what by middlemen. So are big pharma against middlemen truly? I don't know what you mean by middlemen. I think we probably need to talk a lot a bit about how medications get to and treatments get through the FDA process. I think that's going to be important, and make it to human for human consumption and human use. That's going to be really important. I think probably one of the big pharma myths are they're keeping us sick on purpose. I don't think that's big pharma. Keeping us sick on purpose so they can continue to make medications that treat a disease rather than cure it. So I think it's something we're going to have to look into. I think it's more of a insurance and government thing than it is we need access. I don't know. I'm going to kind of see where it goes. I'm going to present the stuff because Doc has been in he's been in immunology and immunotherapies for like 25 years. So he's going to be able to weigh in a lot on a lot of these myths because that's his job. So, and just as an aside, I looked up Doc's work. He's been cited 487 times. Doc Savage has been cited 487 times. His work has been cited.
That's freaking awesome. No wonder he's rich. Anyway.
So he's a child prodigy. So like last Sunday, if you were watching Oral Audacity last Sunday, we had Landon Knoll, who's a bit of a child prodigy, and Doc Savage, who is a bit of a child prodigy, sitting back and having a conversation. And I just was like, I can't relate to either one of these folks. I'm just going to let them talk.
I swear to God, Doc Savage was fanboying on Landon, though. He really was. I saw stars in Doc Savage's eyes when he started talking.
Because he doesn't know anything about astrophysics, even though Doc is genius level brilliant on proteins. Okay, proteins in regard to receptors and signaling and immunotherapies and immunology. Brilliant genius level on that. Knows nothing. Well, I don't say knows nothing. Does not know as much or anywhere near that level when it comes to astrophysics. Okay, so you bring somebody in who's genius level, brilliant child prodigy astrophysics, opposite somebody else. They have similar life experiences in completely different sciences. It's a beautiful, it was probably like the purest thing to watch last Sunday, if I'm honest.
I loved it.
I'm neither.
I loved it. I loved watching that, and I loved producing that stuff because, and Landon being like a personal friend and supporter of myself, it's just, it was like, yeah, I'll help him, back. He got banned from YouTube, believe it or not. He got banned because A, he didn't have any content, and B, because he was on a show where he said hypothetically Australia didn't exist. Anybody who knows Landon knows he's been to Australia, knows he has friends who live in Australia, Red Eye being one of them, and it was hilarious because they banned him for life. Because
oh God, that sucks.
He can't make an account on YouTube at all.
It's like, and it was weird because I was just sitting there like, this is a comedy show, and it's turned into such a heavy, nerdy back and forth between two people who were child prodigies. And I'm like, okay, guys, now we have to show the fake commercial. And I'm like, here we go. And then I'm just like, so sometimes Oral Audacity is heavy, heavy comedy. And sometimes it ends up going a completely different direction where it's super science and nerdy. Both are beautiful things. And that's one of the things I love about that show. It's just, it's, it's neat because I can understand that, somebody like Landon Knoll and somebody like Doc Savage who are they're very different people. They're not, because of their upbringing, because of their abilities, because of their focus, because of their genius level and brilliance on a particular topic. There are not that many people like them on this planet. And I accept that. I am not one of them. So I am not one of them. I know I'm intelligent and I'm smart and I'm successful and I'm capable, but I'm not Einstein level protein guy. I'm not Einstein level astrophysics guy, or pretty close to that. They may not be Einstein level, but they're pretty freaking close. Okay. So it's like they're really high up, So
Landon's one of those math smart people too. Like the prime number thing with him is it's unreal. It's unreal. Like he's big on prime numbers and things about prime numbers and different kinds of prime numbers, because there are different kinds of prime numbers, believe it or not.
Yes, there is, and that's cool and that's awesome. And so it's like, huh. And so, but to be able to sit there, and watch them go back and forth, I'm like, God, I made this content and I really want to play it on my show, but I also don't want to interrupt them because they look like they're having the time of their lives. And I'm just really loving seeing this. It was Doc's birthday that week too. So it was just kind of like a nice end to his birthday week. Because, Doc's my friend. He's a very close friend of mine now. And so it's like, it's being able to see them kind of engage in that way. And I know that's something that Doc doesn't get to do too terribly often. So I felt like it was just so beautiful to kind of see, just to be involved. And then I'm like, now let's talk about stupid things after we've had this entirely nerdy conversation where I felt like a spectator on my own show. But I'm not complaining, guys. I'm not complaining. If you haven't checked out the Landon Knoll episode, it's a beautiful thing to see two highly intelligent child prodigies just sit there and talk about science. And I just am like, this is just sweet. It's pure and beautiful and lovely. And I was glad to have been able to have that. And Landon's agreed to come back on. And now Doc's like, we've got to talk about warp drive.
I just saw a quote from Landon's page, and it's from another doctor. So I'll credit Dr. Dan Zherka. Dr. Dan Zherka. Sorry, I said that wrong. It says 2 is the most odd prime because 2 is the least even prime. It's actually the only even prime because any other even number is divisible by 2.
There you go. Yeah. Well, Landon will be back on Oral Audacity. We just need to set out a time, and we'll probably talk about, different sci-fi spacey things. That seemed to be like something that Doc is interested in. And so I thought, okay, we'll do that. And I don't know if Doc's going out of town. We might take a break after Amanda Glaze, after her show. Her show is, when is her show? We've got Tony Reed. We have this Sunday, we have Miles Power. We have Tony Reed on the 1st, and we have Amanda Glaze on the 8th. we might take a break. I don't know if we might have a show on the 15th and then take a break for a couple of weeks um, to kind of reset and prepare for the new year uh, and kind of give that a go and see what's up. Uh, so, Nether, you're double posting, man. It's all right. It's just you got a lot of good things to say. You just say it twice. You know? All right. So, again, watch for polls. If you have topics for this show, I'm going to get back now that I've gotten in the swing of things with my new job. I feel like I'm a little bit more confident on how I can schedule things out. Schedule things out to where I can plan a bit better. So if you have topics that you want to talk about, hit me up. This show is primarily this Saturday show is primarily about what you guys want to learn. So tell me what you want to learn about, and I'll put something together. I have a whole post grad degree just in teaching science, and another one in chemistry, and then the 2 undergrads in science. But maybe I'll get my PhD. Considering a PhD in science education, might do that, and I would be able to swing that while working my current job. So. And they'd pay for it. Isn't that nice? But Dr. Scientist Mel. That would be neat. I would just have to get in a program, but my job would do tuition reimbursement. It would take a while, but we'll see. We'll see. There's plenty of options in the future. Just which one we want to go with. Talk about pumpkins because Hannibal and Monty won't talk about it. We want to talk about fall vegetables. You want to talk about fall vegetables and squashes and stuff like that. That would be good. Yes. All right. So, guys, thank you for hopping on this morning. It's been really cool sitting here chatting with you. We have exciting times going on in my life. Lots of stuff, a lot of crossing over associated with local science communication endeavors and science education, in addition to what I'm doing here. So there's stuff going behind the scenes that you don't see all the time. So this spring, have a science festival coming up. I'm meeting next week. The next week? No, it's the second week in December. I'm meeting with the committee, and we're going to start planning for a spring science festival. I'm excited, and I will stream what we're doing to my channel so you can join along with us. And if if you want to come out, I'll probably be posting stuff about that so you can come out and join the science festivals we got out here. So yeah. So this has been awesome, guys. How about we read something for Mr. Rogers? I do like reading for Mr. Rogers. That film is out. Won't You Be My Neighbor is out with Tom Hanks. I can't go see it, guys. I couldn't even watch the documentary, if I'm honest. Mr. Rogers makes me cry. We don't have enough people like him in the world. The challenges of inner discipline. Let's pull from that chapter what we gonna get. Let's see. All right, here we go. The World According to Mr. Rogers. I love this book. And don't forget Mel's Minions Point, December next month. Towards the end of the month, I will find out who has the most Minions points, and I will send you a swag bag with stuff. One of my action figures in the back, a t-shirt, maybe a mug, and maybe I'll throw in a copy of The World According to Mr. Rogers. How about that? Spreading the good news of being nice to people and to each other and defaulting to kindness. All right. What makes the difference between wishing and realizing our wishes? Lots of things, of course, but the main one, I think, is whether we link our wishes to our active work. It may take months or years, but it's far more likely to happen when we care so much that we'll work as hard as we can to make it happen. And when we're working toward the realization of our wishes, some of our greatest strengths come from the encouragement of people who care about us. Working on things that you love to do and at the same time helping others. This has been my life the past 3 months. Working on my wishes and connecting my science communication work with my helping people, moving them from poverty to prosperity through STEM academic success. It's a wonderful thing. And so, just as a reminder, you always make each day special for me. You know how. By just your being you. I will see you guys tomorrow on Oral Audacity. So thank you for being here. Sending squishy science hugs. Bye.